Well, although I'd rather be outside where we were last week with the video, we're inside, and of course it's dark outside now, it's later on, so I could have been outside tonight, but I actually had a meeting to go to, and I just got home, so sorry about that. But anyway, here I am, and a bunch of things to talk about this week. Again, let me tell you that you are doing a terrific job on essays and on comments. Essays especially are very, very good. A few of your comments were still a little fluffy, but most people's comments were to the point, giving examples, agreeing or disagreeing, telling what they liked or didn't like, and telling specifically why or what could have been done different or whatever. As I said, there were a couple that didn't say a whole lot more than I liked what you did. So, for those folks, try to detail that a little more. But in general, you folks are doing a terrific job with your essays and your comments. I apologize for the problems with Moodle again last weekend. There was a power outage at the college, and so that messed some people up. Hopefully these things are all in the past. Moodle changed a lot this year, and so we're still trying to work some stuff out with it, okay? But we're getting there, and you seem to be handling it all pretty well. So good for you. You're a terrific bunch of people, and I'm enjoying seeing your comments, and I am loving the interplay between you and amongst you, where you're willing to say things about each other that is in disagreement. That's neat. That's how we all grow. We all learn by willing to take new approaches. Somebody, I can't remember who, had a very, very different approach to Miss Emily. So it just kind of opened the doors of thought in a lot of different directions. That's great. That's what this is all about, okay? So keep up the great work, okay? Somewhere down the road, we'll all meet each other, late in the semester or later in the semester or whatever. We'll figure something out, but we'll talk about that a ways down. As for right now, we want to move on to the concept of character development. Okay, you've already seen some notes about it on Moodle, and let me explain it a little bit more. We have probably all met people whom we knew, well, not met, but we've all known people who, we knew them, we got along with them, we did things with them, and over the course of time, it seemed like they changed, so that they may not have been a kind of person that we wanted to do things with anymore, okay? That's just kind of human, We get people that change a lot. Something may happen that affects their whole approach to life, and so they see things differently and do things differently. And so we decide maybe we don't want them in our sphere of friends anymore. And so we move in another direction. Or it may have even happened with a relative. It happens a lot of times with relatives. There's the old line, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. That happens. So sometimes people, more than just drift apart, people change. And so you kind of make the choice that that's not somebody that you want to spend time with anymore. So we see people whose characters change. On the other hand, we all know people who are the same all the time. It seems like their character never changes, their reactions never change. Everything is the same all of the time, okay? Well, that's real life, but the same thing happens in literature. In a novel, there's a lot of room for change. We see a lot of characters grow, develop, become a different person later on in the story than they were at the beginning of the story. So certainly that happens a lot in novels. But it happens also in short stories. Not quite so with so many examples of it over the course of a story, because stories are short. And so when we see people change, they generally have to change rather rapidly because, again, short stories are short. But people can change during a short story. People can be somebody different at the end of a short story than they were at the beginning of a short story. And if they are somebody different at the end of a short story, then as a character, they have developed. Okay? I just have to throw this in too because I like to have fun with you, and also I like to see if you make comments about some of the things that I say. But there's an old line that men marry women hoping they will never change, and women marry men with the idea that they will change them. Okay? I'm not going to comment on that line. You know, I'm not going to comment that. No, I'm not going to make any gender-based comments on it. You can think about that one for yourself. So in the notes on Moodle, I gave you some thoughts as to different kinds of characters. There's two main categories of character. First of all, there is the static character. A static character is just that, static. Okay, he doesn't change. He's the same person at the end as he was at the beginning. But there are different kinds of static characters, characters that are the same as at the beginning. Okay, there is a flat static character. Okay, and that's a character that is dominated by a single quality or a single idea. We only really know one thing about that character. There is a comic static character, and comic has nothing to do with funny. These are characters that only seem to have one passion in life or one facet to their personality. And even though there's experiences around them, it doesn't change them. They are the same person. And then a third kind of static character is what we might call a caricature. A caricature is a character who is so flat that he's almost unrecognizable as a human being. Okay? Authors use characters to help make the point that they are trying to make in the story. Did Emily change over the course of the story? Interesting. You could interpret that in a lot of ways. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I'll leave that one up to you. I'm not going to give you an answer on it, but you can think about it. Other than being dead, is Emily the same person at the end of the story that she was at the beginning? Maybe, and maybe it just took the things going on in the story for us to realize that, but maybe she's very different. So anyway, characters can change, but not necessarily so. They can stay the same, and those that stay the same are static, falling into a flat character, a comic character, or a caricature. Okay? Then there are characters who definitely do change. Okay? And these are called dynamic character. Dynamic means change. Things that are dynamic are different. You know, they keep becoming different. As human beings, in general, we are dynamic. Our bodies keep changing. The things that we think about frequently keep changing. A dynamic character is a character who is not the same at the end as he or she was at the beginning. Okay? So a dynamic character changes. There is a subtype of a dynamic character, and that is a round character. And a round character is a character that seems to blend a whole lot of things into his personality. He blends, you know, a bunch of different character traits. And so he's considered round, as we are as people. Okay? So a round character is a kind of dynamic character. Okay? Question for you this week is the character Abinadab. Is that the right pronunciation of his name? If you turn it around, it's bad anima. Aminadab. In Birthmark. Is Aminadab a round or a flat character, and within a sentence, why? Okay, that's your question for the week. So we're reading 3 short stories this week: Miss Brill, The Birthmark, and A&P. I'll put the pages in your book, and the assignment will be there. Okay, have a good week.